April 6th, Detention Centre Holding Cell. Ooh, Miles Edgeworth is there. Hello everyone. Triple S back with my AAI investigations, Miles Edgeworth Prosecutor's Path. Pretty much the only thing really to say is Edgeworth and Kay have both been arrested because of flipping Justine and Blizz the Best. Not great. So now, we're just going to see how he's going to talk his way out of this one. Also, this part has the quote-unquote hardest logic chess of the entire game. I'm pretty sure anyway, I've been saying that, and I'm pretty sure, because the bar runs down really quickly. So that's going to be fun. Oh god, let's see how this goes. Pardon me, sorry, I had some Coke, and that was a bad mistake. And by Coke I mean Coca-Cola, not cocaine. Okay. This is the second time I've been in this cell. Oh yeah, I guess technically it is the second time. All of my evidence has been taken from me. Really? Aww, just the Agassi's badge, that's all we got left. The only thing I have left is Kay's Agassi's badge. I just found that out. Thank you. I got something stuck in my teeth. I'm worried about Kay. Is she alright? The culprit is me. I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Miss Edgeworth, it was me! The culprit was me all along. You have a visitor. Please hurry out. A visitor? Who could it be? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Will you turn him down? No. It'll be hard to face him though. April 6th, Detention Centre Visitors Room. Wait there. He's not going to stay and keep watch. Pardon me. Because it isn't Gumshoe at all. Judge Courtney. Hush. Please, have a seat. Why are you here? I was told a detective had come. If I didn't instruct them to tell you that, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. I can't think of anything she'd need from me at this point. I should try to figure out what she wants. The visit. Your visitation rights have been restricted to begin with. It's as if I'm some monstrous criminal. I suppose my credibility has hit rock bottom. But of course, your friends have faced a little better though. That lawyer and that girl were both quite worked up. Mr. Shields and Emma. When I last saw them, they were giving one of the guards quite an earful. What? You don't mean? Be grateful, the goddess of law has been quite busy. They were spared punishment. It certainly seems like you have plenty of time for small talk. Oh yes, Prosecutor Von Karma is presently continuing the investigation. You were worried about them, right? I guess you saw right through me. Judge Courtney's goal. Let's cut to the chase. Exactly what are you planning? I'm not planning anything. There is merely a question I wish to ask. You're asking me? Yes, of course. Who else is here? Objectively speaking, you are a clever individual, and you have a sharp mind. As a prosecutor, you are highly talented and capable. You being ironic, your sarcasm falls short. I'm being completely sincere, and that is why I cannot understand. Take this case, for example. You're up against the PIC, there is no chance for you to come out on top. Even a child can understand, and yet you... Perhaps my younger self would not have done something so reckless. The me from before had power. That's why I thought justice was on my side. Just like you right now. However, because of a certain man, my self-centered sense of justice was broken down. Ever since then, I began to see people in a different light. I'm able to serve as a prosecutor only because of the support of the people around me. People like the Gumshoe, and all the other investigators. And Kay as well. Honestly, even I'm surprised at how much I have changed. I see. Is that how it is? I've come to understand you a little more. Understand me? Not likely. Someone like you, who forces her own sense of justice onto others, could never understand. I wonder about that. Is that what you think? If I could say one thing, it would be that this conversation has been very interesting. That is all. Our conversation is coming to an end. However, I have one last thing to tell you. The date of your hearing has been set. I came here today to inform you. Today, in the PSC meeting room, may you humbly accept your fate. If that's all you wanted to say, couldn't you have just sent a messenger? The holy words of the goddess of law simply cannot be entrusted to others. With that, Miss Edgeworth, I bid you farewell. I shall be seeing you again later. April 6th, Detention Centre, Holding Cell. Right, let's look at the bed. Nothing else to do. It's a simple bed. Don't expect it to be very comfortable to sleep on. If it were Detective Gumshoe, he would probably snore loudly while sleeping like a log. I may never get a chance to work with him again. However, this is the path I chose. I won't regret it. The toilet. There's a poster on the wall next to the toilet. We are currently out of toilet paper. Please be prepared if you wish to use the toilet. What does it mean by be prepared? Be prepared. The desk. There's a dining menu sitting on the desk. It seems I can get food delivered if I pay for it. Let's see. Mouldy white bread lunch sets. Switch to mouldy whole wheat bread for an extra $1. Oatmeal and grits set meal. For a limited time, get extra gruel at no additional cost. Thank goodness I'm not hungry right now. That's terrible. Examine the mirror over here, I guess? I mustn't neglect my personal appearance just because I'm in a holding cell. Prosecutor or not, this is my personal duty. My collar is slightly bent. There. A well-groomed appearance reflects a well-groomed mind. From here on, I'll need to focus myself more than ever. And, last but not least, the bars. There's a poster hanging in the hallway. The Dice and Slice game. Roll the dice and decide your daily menu. The Dice and Slice game has been cancelled due to the warden's arrest. Yep. We sincerely apologise to everyone who was looking forward to it. There's no need to apologise for cancelling such a silly game. And here comes our logic test opponent. The hardest one of the game. Another visitor? Kay! Oh. That's not who I was expecting, but, you know. Seems you're alright. I'm relieved, for now. There he is. That's the one I'm talking about. You know, this is kind of touching. You look a little down, Kay. Please cheer up. You didn't do anything wrong. I guarantee it. Please, just accept it. I'm a murderer. That's not true. Why won't you believe in yourself? What should I believe in? I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing to believe in? That's not true. Before you lost your memories, you literally jumped into my life. As a result, your words and actions have become engraved in my memories. That's the mark you left behind. How can you call that nothing? I believe in your innocence. That's why you must believe in yourself as well. Thank you. But it's no use. Look at all the misfortune I brought upon you. If you can, please forget it all. No memories of Kay Faraday. Kay! You know, this takes me back. In my youth, I too was a gallant. Is this the kind of justice that the PIC seeks? Justice, huh? I wonder. This man, what is he planning? Why is he pushing things forward so forcefully? It all seems too unnatural. Is there a hidden agenda? There's no time left. It's all or nothing now. Well then, I must take my leave. Hold it! Here we go. I'm going to switch to mouse now. And I need to scroll down on my guide just to make sure I'm in the right position. Oops, not that far. Okay, so there, okay. No matter how you look at it, Kay's arrest was unnatural. Oops, there must be something behind it. Ooh, he's got a lot of pieces. Hey, I'm a busy man, you know. I'm kind of a big deal, you see. I trust this won't take up too much of my time. That's why the counter runs down so quickly, because he's rushing and he wants to get away. In order to make it out of this situation, I must break through his defences. There are plenty of things I want to ask, but my time is limited. Also his as well. He only has until the trial, so... First, I'll ask about why he rushed the arrest. Okay. I have no intention of letting him push me around. I will overcome this difficult situation. Hold your chest. Begin! Why'd you rush the arrest? Why did you rush your arrest? I'd like a clear explanation. Explanation? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. You clearly did not follow the proper procedures. Okay, maybe you should pipe down a bit. Do you even know the position you're in? Wait, see... Suppose we let the criminal escape. What do you think will happen? Okay, just watch this not be the hardest one of the game, and I'm pretty sure it is, though. What will happen? I will be made to take responsibility, you see. I do hope you understand. Let's see... Just take my advice and stay out of this, if you know what's good for you. I refuse. Kay is innocent. You know, this is so pitiful. It brings me to tears. Why would you just give up? Things were finally going well. Oh. Things were going well? Things were going well, you say? That's a strange way to put it. It almost sounds as if you personally wanted Kay to be arrested. Far more than necessary. Haven't you lost your impartiality? Oh, he broke him straight away. Wow. You think so? That certainly wasn't my intention, you see. Edgeworth, my boy, you're reading too much into it. He skillfully avoided the issue. However, I still have some serious doubts about Kay's arrest. Next, I shall ask him if the investigation was sufficient. I can't miss even the tiniest piece of information. That's the only way to break through this situation. Was it under your authority? It's hard to say that the investigation was sufficient. The arrest, was it under your authority? My, do I really look that important? Prosecutorial Investigation Committee Chairman. It's quite a prominent title. Not that I care much for it. That was rather blunt. I'm so shocked. I could cry! I'm sorry. Flattery is never my forte. If you keep talking like that towards me, you'll never get your prosecutor's badge back, you know? I don't need my badge. Let me make this clear right now. I do not live for the sake of my badge. Status means nothing to me. Do you understand? Or status. Ooh, we didn't break it that time. Young, so young. Let me teach you something as your senior in life. What you're saying right now is far too naive, you see. The look in his eyes has changed. He might respond differently to some of my questions now. This is my chance. How long did you investigate? How much time was spent on the investigation? Well, aren't you an impertinent one? Even someone like me is starting to get annoyed. What a coincidence! I feel the same way. Answer me! Was the investigation sufficient? Young folks always live life in the fast lane. That's why I like to bully them. You'll regret this soon enough. Wait and see. You sure are quiet. Are you scared? Ridiculous. I was just thinking about my next strategy. On how to extract information from a weepy old man. You should show some remorse, you know. Don't you get it? I hold your fate in my hands. Wait and see. In any case, even if you obtain some information, there's nothing you can do. Just give up already. I refuse. Mind if I ask why? It's simple. The truth is fading away. That's all there is to it. I see. I'm starting to understand what kind of person you are. But you know, it's all useless. It's enough to make me cry. Give it up. That girl's guilt has already been decided. Oh. Decided? That's strange. The way you said that, it almost sounds like it was decided from the very beginning. Ah, still didn't break it. What are you trying to say? The arrest was planned. Yes, it's clearly unnatural. Everything is progressing as if Kay's guilt was predetermined. Wasn't Kay's arrest planned from the start? There we go. I see. That's an interesting theory. But I don't have time to indulge in your flights of fancy, you know? Why don't we put an end to this silly conversation? Curses! He's trying to get away! Okay, here's probably where it gets difficult. Before that, I must find out if the arrest was lawful. It's still very faint, but I'm beginning to see the path to the truth. Can't let this opportunity slip by. I still have more to ask you. Please wait, there's still something I want to ask you. I've grown weary of our little tete-a-tete. Please keep it short, okay? Basis for your arrest. If I put together what you have told me up until now, I cannot help but say that there is no basis for Kay's arrest. Ah, I didn't break it. Yes, I understand, you see. But you know, it doesn't really matter either way. You can't overturn her arrest. How irresponsible. You still claim to be a man of the law. My, those are some harsh words, you know. You know, you're starting to make me a little angry. Wait and see. You see, to be honest, I really can't answer all of your questions, you know? That's just the position I'm in, you see? I'm a busy man, you know? Aren't you just pretending to be busy? That's cruel, you know. This old chunk of coal has been working like a dog. Pretending. Just what do you think that would accomplish? Just don't want to talk about it, do you? You don't want to talk about the case. Isn't that why you're trying to get away from this place? Ah, still alive. How sad. Yes, how sad indeed. Do you really suspect little old me? I do suspect you, and I'm confident about it. There's clearly no basis for Kay's arrest. My, have you forgotten? Wasn't there evidence? The mask, the letter, and the corsage all were found in the girl's possession. Not to mention, she even confessed. All of this serves to prove her crime. That's... Any objections? Wait and see. You see, you have no response. It's true, I have no objections. Although, there is one point that bothers me. This man seems awfully familiar with the evidence. To remember everything without missing a beat. That intrigues me. This could be a useful clue. I still have more to ask you. Please wait, there's still something I want to ask you. Oh, go away, a little tete-a-tete. Please keep it short, okay? Who made the decision? Who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? Ah, still alive. Well, I can't say I remember. Growing old is a terrible thing, you see. My memory's not what it used to be, you know? Perhaps I should use that clue. You remembered the evidence. Don't play dumb with me. Didn't you remember all of the evidence in full detail just now? Stop pretending to be a forgetful old man when things aren't going your way. Ah, still not broken. Now then, who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? I see. You're a sharp one, aren't you? You know, I wish my son could learn from you. Because he's a real idiot. I'm not interested in your son. Who made the decision for the arrest? You're a bad man, you know. Oops, the music's freaking out. Don't you already know? The one who ordered her arrest was obviously you. Ah, this time we're going to break you. The person right in front of me, I'm certain of it. Ouch. You make it sound like I committed some kind of injustice. Guess I'll have to clear that up. My honour's at stake here, you see? Very well, I'll continue to play along with you until you are satisfied. What is most crucial here is how much this man knows about this case. If I can get him to reveal that, it's do or die. If I can overcome this, I'll reach the truth. You seem to know quite a bit. You seem pretty familiar with the case. I'm a wise man, you know. I'm familiar with most things, you see. I don't think it was very wise of you to arrest Kay in this case. Oh, he's burning again. That's a clear sign that we need to wait and see. I'm a very busy man. I can end this conversation anytime I want, you know? Don't you forget about that. This would have already been over if you had simply answered my questions. If you give me a proper answer, I won't take any more of your time. I will ask you once again, why are you so familiar with this case? I read the case files, you see. Honestly, it was quite a drag, you know? But it's my job, so what could I do? Because of my position, you see. I can't just skip out on it. Well, I had some time to kill, so I read the whole thing, you see. You said you were busy. That's strange, didn't you just say you were very busy? Aren't your faults slowly coming to light now? If you truly wish to protect your position, I would advise you to rescind the arrest order. You really are desperate, you know? That never say die attitude. It touches my heart. But you know, it's unfortunate, so your hard work was for naught. Because we discovered her unconscious body near the crime scene, you see. Hey, you found her unconscious? This is the first I've heard of Kay's condition when she was found. She was unconscious in the storeroom? That's right. The source of that information is classified, though. This man knows things even I don't know. Does he know the whole story behind this case? This could be a useful clue. About Kay. A suspect regarding Kay. How much do you know about her? She's a suspect in this case. That's all I know, you see. Scout's honour. Perhaps I should use that clue. Don't you know the whole story? Something you've said feels out of place. You know about things that the crime scene investigation never revealed. Why is that? Just how much of the truth do you know? You're making that fossil face again. You know, it kind of makes me want to do the same. Like this. Wait and see. You really are a persistent one, you know? But I can admire that, you see? I will take that as a compliment. Can't you give it a rest already? At my age, my body's not as strong as it once was, you know? There is no one else who could be the culprit besides her. She was even given that much evidence to show that she committed the crime. She was given. Given the evidence? She was given evidence, you say? That's an odd choice of words. It almost sounds as if she did not possess them under her own will. I see. You really do have a fine eye for the details, as expected of a former prodigy prosecutor. You've already found your answer, haven't you? I'm listening, so go ahead and say it. There's no need to hold back. I have finally wrenched open the heavy door to the truth. Now all that remains is to strike the final blow. Kay is not the culprit. Oops. Kay's not the culprit. My, that's a rather bold claim, you know? Anyone can shout objections at the top of their lungs, you see. Mr. Former Prodigy Prosecutor. I shall break through this with that clue. The culprit, someone else. Kay was framed. The true culprit is pinning the blame on her. That is my answer. There we go. Oh god. Okay, I was just going to say, I'm starting to suspect that I might have been wrong that this was the hardest logic chess. The bar really didn't run down as fast as I thought it would when I was picking answers. Maybe I was just that quick, but I don't know. I might have been wrong. Oopsies. Anyway. Yes, you're a clever one. It almost makes me feel bad that your prosecutor's badge was taken away, you know? Yes, it's as you say. Checkmate. Try and scroll down a bit more in my guide. So I can get all of... There we go. You arrested Kay even when you knew of the existence of the true culprit. Don't toy with me. There is no way such an act will be tolerated. You sure are green, you know. That's what a prosecutor is supposed to do. It will all work out fine if you make her guilty. Who would desire such a resolution? If I had to say, maybe the PIC, and also maybe me, you know? When I heard your words just now, I could barely hold back my tears, you know? It was so splendid, you see, and it burns me up inside. I'm not the most perfect piece of work, you know, so I can't forgive such usefulness. Youthfulness. I said usefulness, but youthfulness. You think the truth is important, but you know, once you know the real value of the truth holds, I wonder if you can still say the same thing. What are you trying to say? When you get to where I am, you can just create your own truths, anytime you want. Kay Faraday is the culprit. That was the truth that I simply manufactured out of thin air. Ah. Good, very good. That face, that expression. You were such a desperate one, you see. That's why I really wanted to bully you, you know? So even if you know the truth, there is simply nothing you can do. And that's the real value of truth, so shocking that it's to die for, you know? Why would you pursue the true culprits? How much of the truth do you know? Do you understand now? The truth that you believe in is worthless, you see. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Powerless former prosecutor? You. Ooh, scary, scary. You know, I guess the friends of a heinous criminal are also quite heinous themselves. Please, you... Like this, you see, one more person will disappear before me. Here come the ball of wax. These tears of mine just won't stop, you know. And he's off. You think maybe we'll get like a to be continued there, but no. Everything will be decided in today's deliberation. Kay's innocence. I will definitely prove it. Maybe there, like a to be continued right there, but no, we don't get one. Would have made sense though. April 6, 8:30 AM, Grand Tower, PIC meeting room. 10 members are present. The quorum has been met. From here on out, let the council begin. Today's deliberation shall be about Miles Edgeworth's aptitude and ability as a prosecutor. Let our members discuss this matter with a clear conscience of the goddess of law. Clear conscience. Don't make me laugh. Courtney, please give us your report. On April 5th, Prosecutor Edgeworth carried out an illegal investigation and resisted arrest. He was arrested by 2 of our members who caught him in the act, myself and Blaze the Best. Prosecutor Edgeworth disrupted the investigation of attorney Jill Crane's murder. He claims that the culprit, Kay Faraday, was arrested without sufficient evidence. Even now, his claim remains unchanged. Tell us more about the murder incident. On April 5th, the victim's body was found here in the PIC meeting room. Regarding the details, I, Sebastian de Best, the best prosecutor, will enlighten you. Prosecutor in charge, Sebastian de Best, will explain the rest of the details. The murder happened on the night of April 4th. The victim was one Jill Crane. On the same night, a black market auction was being held in this very meeting room. Oh damn, is that Pink Princess over there? Looks like Pink Princess. That's cool. I guess Miss Crane was taking part in the auction, yep. Murder occurred in the middle of the auction, did it not? When Miss Crane was found, she was dressed like the conductor of the auction. However, based on the fact that the auction continued after the murder occurred, I deduced that Miss Crane could not have been the conductor. You weren't the one who made that deduction. Sebastian, please show everyone the basis for the arrest of the culprits. You got it, Justine. Kay Faraday was unable to bear the weight of her good conscience. I believe you mean her guilty conscience. Yes, it was her guilty conscience that drove her to confess the crime. According to her confession, on the roof of this building, she'd better figure in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. So Crane was wearing a red raincoat. Yep, that's correct. The culprit used the conductor's clothes as a red herring to mislead us. At the time of the murder, Miss Crane was wearing a red raincoat. It was I who discovered the raincoat near this building. You did? I'm sure it was the forensics team who found it. To be more precise, it was the forensics team under Sebastian's orders who discovered it. Ah, there we go. I thought as much. According to the blood analysis, the person in the red raincoat and Miss Crane were the same person. The decisive evidence is the culprit's own confession. She testified that she killed her. That's right, the culprit is Kay Faraday. It couldn't have been anyone else but her. Well then, Edgeworth, if you have any objections, let's hear them. I have no objections. I see. It seems all the fight's gone out of you after your little overnight stay. Objection! Okay, now we've got an objection. I have no objections to your claim that I investigated illegally. I admit to that. However, I object to the claim that Kay is the culprit. I will testify that Sebastian's investigation was fair and just. Of course it was, Justine. Don't you know that I'm the fairest of them all? Edgeworth, my boy, despite how things may seem, I actually kinda like you. If, and this is just an if, you see, if you were to withdraw your objection, you might be sitting on this side of the bench tomorrow. I'll ask you one more time, Edgeworth. Do you have any objections? Don't take me for a fool. I advise you to watch what you say. This man is the one who should watch what he's saying. I'm talking about the case, not about a chair. I demand a testimony. By all means, let me hear it. I want to know how the PIC understands this case. A testimony from us, eh? Fine then, if that's what it takes to make you happy. Can't he give him the materials from the investigation? Sir, but that's... It's the end of the line for him. I'll let him go out in a blaze of glory. If you insist, Mr. Chairman. Received evidence from Judge Courtney. Why don't we have Courtney give the testimony? I have no objections. Miss Edgeworth, don't worry, Kay. You just watch from over there. You kind of think this would be the finale of the case as well, but it's not. Summary of the case. Miss Crane went to the black market auction as a customer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for auction. We believe that she left her seat after winning the bid for it. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform where she was attacked by Kay Faraday. That was how she met her end, and that concludes my summary of the case. The red raincoat was up for auction. Is that a fact? It is quite likely. The red raincoat had been a piece of evidence in the assassination attempts on the president of Zheng Fa. As you well know, I knew it was that same one, the red hood! Originally, it should have been stored in an appropriate place, but when I asked about it, I learned that it went missing. Or maybe this is just going to be another red herring. And it somehow made its way to the black market auction. Certainly a natural conclusion. My. Well done, Courtney. Your explanation is as clear as ever. I am much obliged. Prosecutor Edgeworth, will you concede defeat now? Sorry, but I don't plan on it. I see. I'm relieved. Relieved? What does she mean? Come to think of it, her reason for questioning me yesterday remains a mystery. Just what is she thinking? Don't make it seem like she's actually on our side the whole time. I want to really rub it in her face and prove her wrong. I don't want it to be like, oh, I knew all the time that this person was this person, and I knew that this person actually did the murder and it wasn't Kay Faraday and blah 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 blah. Come on. Let me win for once. Okay. We're gonna go, Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform. Went out to the viewing platform. We present Lotta's photo. Like that. Judge Courtney, I have found it to be strange for a while now. Why is Miss Hart here with us? She's an eyewitness to this case. Isn't it only natural for her to be in attendance? Aw, shucks. I reckon I'm more of an ear witness than an eyewitness. Seems that gaining the trust of others isn't your strong point, Judge Courtney. Perhaps I simply do not wish to be as tactless as you. It appears you have failed to get the witness to tell you the most vital information. Please look at this photo. This was taken by Miss Hart. This photo seems to have been taken in the storeroom. And what of it? According to your reasoning, the incident took place on the viewing platform. However, Miss Hart encountered the incident in the storeroom. That's right. It had taken place just before this photo was taken. But wait. If that's true, then Justine's reasoning... Exactly. It does not hold up. But what? Miss Hart, allow me to ask you again. You saw the person in the photo with your own eyes, correct? I sure did. I seen him plain as day with my own two eyes. And what did you think at the time? I figured I was about to get me a big scoop, you know? I guess that makes sense. That's not what I meant. What did you think of that person? Huh? Well, I reckon she'd help me bring home the bacon. Are you mocking me? Ah, shucks, don't make that scary old face. It was just a harmless little joke. The person in the red raincoat? I reckoned they were the culprit. I hope you understand now. The crime occurred in the... Prosecutor Edgeworth, I cannot understand your argument if you do not say it out loud. If you had simply asked, I would have been more than willing to explain. Explain what? The sounds Miss Hart heard may not necessarily be related to the case. That is impossible. Enough of your excuses. Was the voice that Miss Hart heard really that of Miss Crane? Such a shady conversation must have had something to do with the case. What did her voice sound like? Her voice? Well, it beats me. How was I supposed to know? They were both using voice changers. Yes, the voices Miss Hart heard had been altered by a device. We must therefore question whether or not they have any bearing on this case. You need not object just because you wish to sigh. Judge Courtney, it seems I have greatly overestimated you. No, Courtney is quite an amazing... why do I keep putting random words in? It's quite amazing, you see. You claim that the sounds Miss Hart heard have no bearing on this case. If they do not, it doesn't change the fact that the crime took place in the storeroom. At the very least, the crime must have occurred before the victim went up to the rooftop. The reason being... this evidence proves the crime occurred before the victim went up to the viewing platform. The hand. At first I thought the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Well, Miss Hart's testimony certainly made it sound that way. Precisely. It was because she saw that the person's hand was covered in blood. Anyone who heard her testimony would have arrived at the same conclusion. The person in the red raincoat was the culprit, and the blood on their hand was the victim's. However, if the person in the red raincoat was the victim, then the situation changes completely. Since blood can be seen in this photo, it must have been taken after the crime occurred. It seems we've been under the wrong impression in regards to the victim's condition. This photo shows the true condition of the victim. The victim was really the conductor struck the culprit was still alive after the attack. The victim was definitely attacked in the storeroom. Immediately afterward, the victim was seen with blood on her hand. That must mean the victim was still alive even after she was attacked. The blood on her hand must have come from her own wound. No way! Are you saying that she died from a hand injury? No, that is not the case. I suspect she just held her hand against the wound. It can't be seen in the photo, but at this moment she must have already suffered a fatal wound. Ho-ho! If that's true, then it changes a lot of things, you know? You seem to understand. This refutes the allegations against Kay. Kay encountered the victim after this picture was taken. I believe at that point in time the victim was already on the verge of death. It's likely Kay just happened to be present when the victim reached the end of her strength. That is quite the coincidence. Indeed, I can only say that she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you seem to have forgotten a crucial fact. Ah, you mean that, right? He must be pretending that he hasn't noticed it, you see. What did you say? Are you implying that I forgot something? Courtney, I think it's about time you gave him his last rites. Hey Pops, Justine's with me, you know. Don't order around like that. You know, even though you're my son, you're so embarrassing. I'm not embarrassing. I'm sorry, but you're both rather embarrassing. Justine, give Mr. Edgeworth his, Very well. I shall give him his last rites. This is going to take us well over an hour to finish this, because there's more testimonies after this. It's going to be a while. Edgeworth's contradiction. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Crane's chest. I'm sure you're well aware what kind of wounds these were, right? Yes, she was stabbed in the heart with the 3-pronged candelabra. Is there any person who could survive such an injury? Please take a close look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? Well, it's obvious they were stabbed afterwards. Well done, Justine. With this, Mr. Edgeworth will... I will offer a rebuttal, of course. Why would you do that? Didn't you hear what Justine just said? Of course I did, and I still plan to object to it. It's not fair! You're always opposing me at every turn. It was never my intention to oppose you. Huh? Really? It's simply not worth my time. I see, so that's how it is. Yep, after all, I'm... That's enough, you know. You're embarrassing your father, you see. Huh? What do you mean, Pops? Okay, so we're gonna go to, yes, she was stabbed in the heart with a 3-pronged blah blah blah. And we present the... Okay, oh, there it is. The red raincoat. Does it have stab wounds in it? It doesn't, does it? Chairman DeBest, do you know what this is? It seems to be a red raincoat. How about it, Courtney? The victim, Miss Crane, was wearing this earlier. Prosecutor Edgeworth, must I repeat my explanation to you all over again? I suppose it just might come to that. Judge Courtney, answer me this. This red raincoat was stained with blood. Do you happen to remember where specifically those bloodstains were located? Of course I do. They were on the hood. But wait, it can't be. Huh? What does this mean? Judge Courtney, were there any other bloodstains besides the ones on the hood? None were detected. Don't you think it's strange? The victim died from a stab wound to the chest. In that case, there should have been bloodstains on the front of the raincoat. However, the only blood they found was on the hood. This is a huge contradiction. So the only injury she sustained was the smack to the head. Ah, okay, and then she was stabbed afterwards to make it seem like that was what killed her. Okay. The wound on the victim's head is no ordinary wound. After all, the victim sustained this wound before she was stabbed in the chest. It does appear that way, doesn't it? The victim first suffered the head wound. If she had already been stabbed in the chest, the raincoat would have been stained with blood. Therefore, it is unthinkable that her chest was stabbed before she suffered the head wound. So the order of the wounds would be first the head, followed by the chest. However, does that really change the situation? With this, a contradiction is born, one that overturns all of our assumptions up until now. Is the change really that great? I look forward to hearing it. Well then, this contradiction, why don't you show it to me? With evidence. Which piece of evidence shows the contradiction that arises from the order of the wounds? Where would it be? There it is. The autopsy report. This is the autopsy report written by Dr. Young. According to this, the head wound was post-mortem. That's not what the raincoat shows. Exactly. It's the exact opposite. Bailiff, hurry and summon Dr. Bonnie Young at once. Until we hear what she has to say, we cannot close the curtains on this case. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Dr. Young is a busy person. It will take some time for her to arrive. In the meantime, let us try viewing this case from another angle. There's something that's been on my mind. One of the key figures in this case. The conductor. We still don't know who that person is. Now you mention it, even after our investigation, we still have no idea who it is. The conductor has come up time and time again during this hearing. However, at this point in time, their identity remains a mystery. How about it? Do you have any ideas? I'm still not sure at the moment. However, there is someone I have in mind. A certain individual involved with this case who might know something about it. Who's that? Blaze the best. I demand your testimony. What? Don't say such a stupid thing. Why would you suspect Pops? Are you trying to cast suspicion towards the chairman of the PIC? Do you understand what that means? Status and prestige mean nothing before the truth. That man is trying to pin the crime on Kay. The evidence that was in Kay's possession, the ticket stub, the mask, the corsage, these items did not come into her possession out of her own volition. By some method, that man purposely planted them on her personage. If you decide to believe such a sudden accusation, but I'll ask just in case. Why would he do that? Obviously to direct suspicion towards Kay. I succeeded in drawing out those words from him earlier. Mr. Chairman, a response? Are you too shocked to speak? And what of it? Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, what of it? You say that you drew out some words from me, but you don't have a shred of proof, you know? No one else heard it but you. It just doesn't work like that, you see. Or do you have something else? You know, some kind of basis for your arguments. It's confidence. You also showed it at the cell. Prosecutor Edgeworth. I would like you to explain once more. I trust we have your permission, Mr. Chairman. But of course, I'm pretty interested in this matter myself, you know. I'd like to know just what part of me seems criminal to Edgeworth. There's no one as honest as I am, you see. How can he say that with a straight face? Let's start from the top. The fact that the auction was held in this room is a cause for suspicion. This is the PIC meeting room. Imagine it would be difficult for non-members to enter. That's why all the members have keycards, you know? I think we can assume that multiple auctions have been held here before. Therefore, suspecting a member of the PIC would be the best. Yes, because the conductor had to have been a PIC member. Wait, no! What? What was that all about? What do I do, Pops? I just help the enemy! Sebastian really is an idiot, you know. But you see, Edgeworth, I'm not the only one with access, you know. Indeed, there are 11 members in the PIC. Even if you rule out the victim, Miss Crane, there are still 10 potential suspects. It's not me. But it could have been the chairman, right? I don't know who it is, but whoever it is should just come forward. Yes, everyone, just calm down, you know. Edgeworth, is that all you got? Where's the evidence to suspect me? Oh, so you've fallen silent. But you've gone too far, you see. I won't forgive you anymore. It's too late for regrets, you know. I'm a very important man, you see, former chief prosecutor and chairman of the PIC. It's fine if you're not prepared to face the fire, you know. Because you see... Either way, it won't make any difference. Here we go. The second person we're going to talk to. Because I'm going to bully you. You've been rambling on for quite a while about the most trivial details, you know? Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and... what else was there? It just doesn't matter, you know. Because you see, none of that means anything, you know. Think about it. We've got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. That's all that matters, you see. She'll even get a lighter sentence for the confession, you know. Now then, if there are any contradictions, be my guest. How can that be considered a testimony? There must be a contradiction somewhere. That person. He's very important, isn't he? Miss Edgeworth? It's alright. Let's just give up. Surely I must have killed her. I can even remember it. Don't be tied down by your muddled memories. If you want to believe in something, believe in your own innocence. Believe in me who believes in you. But My opponent is the PIC chairman. Taking him down won't be easy. However, he has underestimated me. If I can take advantage of that, we will win. Okay. Think about it. We got the suspects. Herself saying she killed. And we press. It may be true she confessed, however, that does not make it the truth. She is suffering from memory loss, so we must question the credibility of her testimony. Objection. Oh my god, what is that noise? Oh hell, I don't want to hear that again. That's one of the worst objections out there. Christ. Even if you say that, you know, it still won't solve anything. What good will it do to deny her confession? Sounds like nonsense to me. I'm gonna try asking her again. I think she'll just say that she's the murderer again, though. Very well, let's try asking her again, one last time. I'd like to hear from Kay herself, whether or not she is the culprit. Huh? From me? Will that be alright? If this goes poorly, it will be quite unfavourable for you. I do not mind. However, I shall ask Kay the question myself. I'm moved to tears, you know. Oh, how touching, you know. How very touching. Fine then. I'll let you ask her. However, I have one condition. If all this proves to be a waste of time, then that will be the end of it. How's that sound? The end of the hearing? Yes, it seems you could be smart once in a while, Sebastian. In other words, you see, she confesses again. Kay Faraday will be found, beyond a shadow of a doubt, guilty. Yep, it's a fine idea. Guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, that's right. That's harsh. Either way, if I do nothing, she'll be declared guilty. Kay. Yes? I know I'm asking of you is unreasonable, but please, I want you to answer me. It doesn't matter how tiny it is. Do you remember anything? Anything that would prove your innocence? Why would you go that far for me? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to remember. Because I might have done something even worse. If that were the case, I would only make things worse for you, Miss Edgeworth. Kay Faraday must have been a despicable criminal. Someone who betrayed your trust. Don't worry. We've only known each other for a short while. But I know you very well. I'd even say that I know you better than yourself, now that you've lost your memories. You cannot possibly be the culprit, because your true identity is... What am I presenting here? The Yatagarasu's badge. Take that! The great thief Yatagarasu. Yatagarasu is a noble thief who would never stoop to murder. No, it's useless. After all... Oops, I didn't realise I had to press something. No matter what, that memory still remains. This image that's stuck in my head, I just can't get rid of it. That means I must have... Hold it! There's no clear evidence to prove that you're the culprit, besides your own confession. Remember what I said? You must believe in yourself. Or perhaps you cannot trust my words. No, that's not it. It's because you are trying to save someone like me. You've already lost so much. Not for my sake. I can't bear it anymore. Please. Please just give up. I see now. I thought it was strange. The reason you were acting like you wanted to be found guilty was because you were concerned about me. That's just like you, Kay. It's because you're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Unfortunately, I may fall short of your expectations. I'm not trying to be a good person. No matter how much you may want me to give up, I'll keep trying to save you. That is the nature of who I am. Whether or not this is a burden for you is none of my concern. There. Okay, believe in yourself once more. You're a noble, great thief. What you should be doubting is your memory of committing the murder. That's my wish above all else. Please. Uh-oh. Oh, she's gonna freak out. Ah! Okay. What is it? Did you remember something? If she remembers something now, it'd be like a bad movie. Bull. Bull? Prosecutor Edgeworth. Please ask her to clarify. Okay, what do you mean by bull? Remember now? The person in the red raincoat had that with her. The stuffed bull doll. I'm certain of it. Is that true? Is that true, defendant? Yes, Your Honour. The court hereby accepts the defendant's statements as a new piece of testimony. Objection. Don't do that. Quit messing around, Courtney. Testimony like that cannot be accepted, you know. Your objection has been noted, sir. However, testimony about the victim's belongings has been lacking up until now. Objection. Oh God, stop it. Nevertheless, you know, vague memories cannot be trusted, you know. And memories are vague? That would be bad for us as well. Didn't you say this earlier yourself, Mr. Chairman? Since we have the suspect's confession, we don't need to worry about the trivial details. If we decide to doubt her memories, then we must also doubt her confession, which is the main foundation of our case. Are you willing to do that, sir? Ah, you're right. Well, never mind then. I shall leave it to you. Thank you very much. But we're still testifying you person. We did it. It was touch and go for a while there, though. However, those words of Judge Courtney just now, it almost feels as if she's on our side. Don't do this to me, come on! Ah, oh, I hate it so much. I just want to rub her face in it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, do you know anything about this stuffed animal? The stuffed animal Kay spoke of must have been this. We found it in the storeroom. It's believed to be one of the items for the auction. Oh, we're inspecting it now, okay. This is... Do you know something about it, Justine? No, it's just a bit different from what I imagined. Indeed, it's certainly not what I would have expected the victim to be carrying. Let's examine every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Okay, what am I looking for here? The right horn. The right horn seems to be fine. The entire balance feels a bit off. This horn. Looks like you can move it. What? What in the heck? What was that buzzing sound? It seems this toy is equipped with a recording device. And the... I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. Silence, huh? I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. Ah! Is this the moment of the murder? Who could have recorded something like this? Stuffed animal data update in my organizer. This is... There ain't no doubt about it. This here was what I heard. We cannot verify when these voices were recorded. It's also possible that they aren't related to the case at all. If only we had some video as well. That's hogswash, I'm telling you. That right there was the conversation that I heard. The victim was holding on to it, right? I reckon it must have been recorded when she got attacked. That certainly is a possibility. However, your testimony alone is insufficient. It requires something with a little more credibility. Again, her words. It almost sounds as if she's trying to give me advice. Judge Courtney, there's no mistake that those voices were from the incident. Please recall the audio that was recorded by the stuffed animal. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. If we compare this part of the recording with a certain piece of evidence, we can prove it. This evidence shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. Where is it? The autopsy report. I'm pretty sure it's that one. Yep. The autopsy report? Exactly what part of the autopsy report shows that? This part shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. The victim's body was discovered in the patient meeting room. It says burn mark on victim's hand. Oh yeah. Burn. If you look at this part of the autopsy reports, I think you will understand. Specifically, which part are you referring to? Oh, what? Did it not fit? Oh, come on! That was right on the word burn. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what part of the autopsy report? I don't want to listen to any part of it. That was right on the word burn. Okay, I'm going to try and get it like right on there this time. Come on. Burn. There we go. That was stupid. Remember clearly what that voice said. You can't hide that burn from me. On the victim's hand there was a burn mark. Indeed, it just happened to match up, you see. But what of it? According to case testimony, the victim had been holding the stuffed animal. It just happened to record a characteristic of the victim, namely the burn. That was just a coincidence. I mean, it could happen, right? I do not think so. It is hard to believe that all of this is simply a coincidence. The voices on the stuffed animal were most likely recorded during the incident. One of these voices must belong to the true culprits. From what we've heard, it must have been the one who was doing most of the talking. But what's the point? In the end, we still can't tell their gender or identity, you know? Indeed, because they had been using voice changes, it can't be helped. It seems the situation has become quite clear. The conversation Miss Hart overheard was between the culprit and Miss Crane. That's what I've been telling you from the start. And from this, we will understand a new fact. Please enlighten us, then. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Chairman. Do what you want. According to Miss Hart's testimony, just before the incident, two people came up from the auction hall, using the lift. It must have been the conductor and one of the auction guests. They probably went there to settle the payment after winning a bid. And then it was there that the crime was carried out. As the auction continued after the crime took place, it led to a single truth. This is the new fact that we have arrived at. The culprit is the conductor, the culprit is still crowing the victim was the conductor. And the culprit is the conductor. Since the conductor was the only one who could keep the auction going, we can conclude that the deceased victim could not have been the conductor. Justine? Please be quiet here, okay? If the conductor was not the victim, then they must have been the culprits. Please wait, that alone is insufficient. Of course, even I do not intend to rely only upon the process of elimination. Certain traces left at the crime scene led me to believe that the culprit is the conductor. Well then, please show it to us. What were the traces left at the crime scene that led me to deduce the culprit is the conductor? Where's the meeting room blood? The culprit purposely left a large amount of blood in the meeting room. In doing so, we were led to believe the meeting room had been the scene of the crime. It was a ruse by the true culprit to hide the blood that had fallen from the storeroom. So we wouldn't find out about the existence of the black market auction, correct? Indeed. If the culprit had been unrelated to the auction, there would have been no need to do such a thing. Ergo, the culprit could have only been the conductor. Well then, do you have any idea as to who the conductor might possibly be? The auction hall is at the PIC meeting room, and furthermore, there's a storeroom above it. The conductor must have been, at the very least, a member of the PIC. So, in other words, you suspect me, I take it. Isn't it natural to suspect you? The one with the most authority in the PIC.
Objection.
I need a drink. I'm losing my voice again. You're quite capable. Capable, I'll give you that much at least. But you know, like I said before, you're far too naive. You have nothing, you know? There's no evidence that proves I am the culprit, you see? If by some chance you do have evidence, then why don't you present it? Do I have evidence that Blaze is the culprit? I have it? Yeah, I don't have it. Blaze himself has suggested that he is the criminal. He's been showing that strange self-confidence for a while now. He knows that there is not a single piece of evidence left behind to incriminate him. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned, Edgeworth. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that, you know. Well then, Courtney. I reckon I just remembered something too. What? You also lost your memories? No, that ain't it. Something just popped into my head right now. Very well. Please tell us.
Objection.
Courtney, could you tell me what you are doing? Prosecutor Edgeworth will not give up until we have destroyed every last possibility. I'm destroying every possibility, so that he will never oppose us again. Justine, I don't really know what's going on, but well said. Pops, I'm going to help too. After all, he's the one who's wrong. Fine then. Let's hear what she has to say. Well then, Miss Hart, please proceed. Sure thing. Just leave it to me. Please make sure you only tell the truth. Ain't that a matter of course? I'm a bona fide journalist of justice, you know. Somehow I feel uneasy. You're saying the culprit was the conductor, right? That means the victim was a customer. Now here's where it gets a mite strange. You see, there were 11 people at the auction. The auction continued after the incident. I went straight on over and stuck a peek down below. You don't mean? That's exactly what I mean. All 11 people were still there, present and accounted for. What? Are you sure about that? Sure, I'm sure. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So it started with 11 people, then there were still 11 people after the murder. Was it a ghost? You know, Sebastian, normally a prosecutor would call that a contradiction, you know? Were there really no changes in the auction at all? Really, I'm telling you, the auction just went on like normal. But there was one itty-bitty thing, though. What was it? You know those hammers you always see at an auction? Like the one that lady is using over there? An auction gavel, perhaps? Yep, that's the one. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear the sound no more. It had been banging away just prior to it. The sound of the gavel? Does that have anything to do with the case? Law's testimony updated in my organizer. So someone impersonated the conductor. Because they could do that with wearing a mask and a voice changer. Maybe. If Miss Hart's testimony is the truth, then this matter has taken a grave turn. If the victim was neither the conductor nor a customer, the very foundation of Prosecutor Edgeworth's reasoning would collapse. Justice prevails, as they say. Hope you've learned your lesson, Miss Edgeworth. Miss Edgeworth, there really is nothing we can do. It's not over yet. Some mysteries still remain. I have to think. If I don't, then Kay will be. Did you get the answer you wanted this time? Well then, a deal's a deal. Please wait, Mr. Chairman. I believe it is still too early to make a judgment. There are still a few mysteries left in this case. Until we have solved them, until we solve them all, we cannot call this a complete victory. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I was expecting you to shout, "Hold it!" like you always do. Yes, of course. Once again, Judge Courtney has come to my aid. Well then, what is it? What sort of mysteries are left? Well, of course, there's the contradiction in the autopsy report. That kind of thing. I brought her in. Well, what's wrong? Why are we suddenly called here? Did someone suddenly get sick? I'll begin preparing a compress stat. Ouch! What'd you call me here for? Did something happen? Dr. Young, Miss Jensen, you have my gratitude for taking the trouble to come here. This won't take long, so please relax. Tell me what in blazes is going on. Of course, we called you here because something came up. Judge Courtney, just what are you planning? Bonnie Young, under the divine rule of law, please answer truthfully. There were no mistakes in your autopsy report, correct? Granny would never make a mistake. That's certainly strange. Huh? What's strange? This court has found an error in Dr. Young's autopsy report. Dr. Young, please tell the truth. Did you falsify the autopsy report? That's terrible. How can you accuse her of that? I have no idea what you are talking about. Why would I do such a thing in the first place? To protect the true culprit, of course. What are you talking about? I would never do such a thing. How strange. In that case, why would there be an error in the autopsy report, I wonder? Prosecutor Edgeworth. What do you think? Oh? I expected you to press into her statements like you normally do. Why is she taking control of the situation and trying to help me? I don't know what her goal is, but I must play along. If the autopsy report you gave to Sebastian had been authentic, then the error should not have been there. Wait a minute, I didn't do anything. That is what we will figure out from this point on. Firstly, Dr. Young, I'd like to hear your testimony. Why do you want to hear a testimony? It will be pointless. I will be the one who decides whether or not it is pointless. Not you. There are patients waiting for us. Granny! Ouch! Anyways, we don't have time for this. Is there any way I could convince you? This is of the utmost importance. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, Granny says she'll testify. So please, try to finish this quickly. If we don't return soon, there will be people in terrible suffering. And yes, you were lollygagging about on the viewing platform earlier. I promise you, this won't take long. Unless she tells me the truth, of course. Here we go, the final people we've got to talk to for this episode. Error in the autopsy report. There are no mistakes in Granny's autopsy reports. I've been working with corpses longer than you've been alive. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ouch! I got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. It's what she says. See? There's nothing strange at all. Yes, that's right, you know. There's no way she would falsify it, you see. Under the name of the Goddess of Law, do you swear that this testimony is the truth? Of course! Granny would never tell a lie.
Objection!
We were asking Dr. Young. We don't need to hear from a third party. I'm not a third party. I'm on Granny's side. If you raise an objection to my testimony, you'd best prepare yourself, you ex-prosecutor. I'll definitely expose the contradiction in the autopsy report. Okay, so we're gonna go, there's no way I'd make a mistake in the autopsy report. Oops, hang on. There it is. I almost went past it because I wasn't concentrating. The victim wore this raincoat after suffering a blow to the head. And yet, there was not a single drop of blood on the front of the raincoat. Therefore, it is impossible for the head wound to have been post-mortem. Well, that's... ouch! I don't need you to tell me that. That's what I wrote down from the very beginning. The autopsy report says the head wound was post-mortem. That's completely different. Yeah. I relayed to Karen what to put down in the autopsy report. So that it was none of my beeswax. Relayed to Karen? Please elaborate on that. I relayed everything to Karen. After that, it was none of my beeswax. Oh, just that then. Okay, so let's present the all sorts of reports. Dr. Young, please confirm what this autopsy report says with your own eyes. I'll read it out for you. Ouch! This autopsy report wasn't written by me. What? What do you mean? I don't know. But Granny, I can't say that. Miss Jensen, if you are trying to keep the truth in the dark, then... in place of the Goddess of Law, I shall hear your confession. Judge Courtney is talking with Dr. Young in private. What? Is that true? Understood. I shall convey your words to everyone else, Dr. Young. I properly relayed the autopsy report orally to that child. It seems my granddaughter must have mucked it up when she was writing it down. Wow, she mimicked her voice perfectly. There was no need for her to go that far, though. In other words, the contents of the autopsy report had been falsified. By your hand, Miss Jensen. Oh, aye. With that, we've proven that the wound on her head came first, followed by her chest wound. Miss Jensen, why did you falsify the autopsy report? Hold on a second. She never said she falsified it, you know. She just made a teeny tiny mistake when she wrote it down. Post-mortem and antemortem sound kind of similar, you know. They're completely opposites. That is the very definition of falsification. Miss Jensen, why would you lie? Kay, ouch! I want you to tell me too. Why would you do something like that? Granny, but because you falsified the autopsy report, Kay fell under suspicion. Tell me why you did it. I can't say. I just can't say it. Not I don't want to say it, but I can't say. You're all a bunch of bullies, you know. Getting on with this poor girl who loves her grandmother so. She's totally unrelated to this. I think we can forgive her for one tiny mistake. That won't do. Aren't you the one with the most to lose if she testifies? Huh? What are you saying? You see, as a former prosecutor, you'll have to speak a little more clearly, you know. Very well, as you wish, I shall answer clearly. Miss Jensen played an essential role in this case. She was the true culprit, she was a victim, she was an accomplice. Miss Jensen falsified the autopsy report in order to assist the true culprit. Ouch! This girl is an accomplice. What's your basis for that claim? It was impossible for a single person to commit this crime in the first place. The crime could not have been committed without at least two people, namely because the victim couldn't have been moved, the number of people wouldn't match, the report could have been faked, the number of people wouldn't have matched. If the conductor was the culprit and one of the auction guests was the victim, it would contradict the witness's testimony that there were 11 people after the incident. What now? You got a problem with my testimony? Not at all. Rather, it is because I believe your testimony that's why an accomplice must exist. So, you still won't admit that your reasoning is wrong. Up until now, we had not even considered the possibility of an accomplice. However, if there had been an accomplice, it changes the entire story completely. If the accomplice took the murdered auction guest's place, then the number of people remains 11. Oh, I see now, so that's what you're thinking. But you know, wouldn't that have been quickly discovered? Miss Jensen and the victim have similar physiques. If she wore the victim's masks, she could have easily taken her place. Miss Jensen, did you switch places with the victim? I wouldn't. Who was the conductor? In other words, tell me who was the true culprit. I can't. I mean, that would also cause trouble for Granny. Ouch. But, Granny, I'll accept whatever wrongs you may have done. Just tell me everything. Granny! burst like a pineapple. As I thought, it appears you really were the accomplice. Miss Jensen, why? Miss Jensen, would you please tell us? Yes. It's okay, Granny. I'm fine now. I switched places with the victim, Miss Crane. So you admit to being the conductor's accomplice? Yes, I helped out the conductor. I don't really know why, but for some reason, the conductor was expecting to be attacked by Miss Crane. The conductor expected an attack from the victim. They were so sure it was going to happen that they came up with a plan to counter it. A way to beat the victim at her own game, and that's when I was called in. I was told to wait in the storeroom before the auction began. Whoa there, you ain't fooling my eyes. If you were waiting in the storeroom, I reckon I would have bumped into you. After all, I've been up in that storeroom the entire auction. I'm telling the truth! I wonder about that, you know. Can we really believe a girl who would falsify a report?
Objection!
Heh. There should have been many places to hide in that storeroom. And by all means, tell me, where did our little nurse hide? The place in the storeroom where Miss Jensen hid was... where is it? Where would it be? Is it on the last page? Oh, it is, it's right there. God damn it. She hid inside this costume trunk. Costume trunk, eh? Well, now you mention it, that box was already there before I snuck in. I figured I would hide in there myself, but it was wrapped up nice and tight with the chain. And it was locked too, so I had to give it up. I suspect that when you sneaked into the room, Miss Jensen was already inside the trunk. Yes, it would have been bad if one of the guests from the auction had opened the lid. After instructing me to hide inside, the conductor wrapped a chain around the costume trunk. I think they went downstairs using the lift shortly thereafter. It was right before the auction. So then when the auction began, only you and Miss Hart were in the storeroom. Yep, that should be right. The auction had been going on as usual, but when a certain participant made the winning bid, the conductor committed the crime. Miss Hart must have heard the altercation that occurred then. You betcha. I was trembling behind that there statue the whole time though. Following the altercation, Jill Crane was murdered. After killing Jill Crane, the conductor carried her body to the costume trunk. And Miss Jensen, who had been hiding in the trunk, was made to take Miss Crane's place. The victim's body was placed inside the costume trunk. The conductor then took Miss Jensen, who had been made to look like Jill Crane, and returned to the auction hall as if nothing had happened. Was this roughly what happened in the storeroom during the incident? Yep, that's right. Pulling the old switcheroo with one of the auction guests. Ain't that impossible? That gal and the murder victim are two completely different people, you know? Don't you reckon one of the other participants would have noticed and caused a ruckus? No, not at all. The reason they didn't notice the switch was because she saw the victim's clothes, she used the victim's name, she acted like the victim, she stole the victim's clothes. From what I can tell, Miss Jensen and the victim appear to have a similar physique. Furthermore, there was a rule requiring a mask to be worn during the auction. If their clothes were the same, I doubt anyone would have noticed she was a different person. Yes, I blended right in. I borrowed Miss Crane's clothes and... ouch! You mustn't embarrass the dead like that. I know, I also thought it was pretty heartless to leave her exposed like that. So when the conductor wasn't looking, I covered her up in the raincoat that was up for auction. So she was the one who put the red raincoat on the victim. And then the auction resumed as nothing had happened. I reckon I took the picture of her in the red raincoat after that. That'd make all the facts line up. After I took the photo, I went over to the lift to sneak a peek down below. I went to the 11 participants, and then I hightailed it back behind the statue. Don't tell me, you were hiding there the entire time until we found you. No, that's... how should I put it? What is it? Did something happen? Didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that. so something did happen. It ain't no big deal. Kinda embarrassing to say though. There was this huge thump sound all of a sudden. I was a little surprised by that. It was right after I had just witnessed a murder, so I was shaking in my boots. My heart sort of tightened up, and I was off to La La Land. When I woke up, it was already the next day, around the time you all came by the storeroom. It seems that there was a large sound. Besides, I take it you do not know what transpired in the storeroom beyond this point. Yes, but after the auction, all the masks were properly returned. I reckon the participants had exited for the storeroom, just like I'd done said. Miss Jensen, what were your actions after the auction resumed? I took the victim's place and participated in the auction. The conductor instructed me to win the bid for the costume trunk, because the body was inside it. It would have been bad if another auction guest won the bid for it. I didn't realise the box was empty. No, we only found out when I came up to the storeroom to pay the bill. The conductor was with me and told me to go search for her immediately. And then I found another girl collapsed in front of the ladder. Kay. Yep, she probably fell down from the roof and lost consciousness. Maybe the victim left the hatch open when she went up to the rooftop. I understand now. Kay was surprised at seeing the collapsed victim and did not notice the open hatch. She must have missed her footing and fell down into the storeroom. Ouch. Besides, I determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor. That might have been it, but I reckon it'd be a kind of pathetic to faint over something like that. When Miss Jensen found the unconscious Kay, Miss Hart was also unconscious behind the statue. The situation is becoming clearer to me. Miss Jensen, please continue your story. After I found Kay and the victim, I put them both in the trunk. The customers at the auction found out there would have been a huge commotion. Was this an order from the conductor as well? Yes, it was. But since I secretly decided to put the raincoat on Miss Crane, I had to dispose of the raincoat without the conductor noticing. So the conductor didn't anticipate the raincoat becoming another piece of evidence, pardon me. And finally, we dressed Miss Crane in the spare conductor's outfit. I see, in doing so, you made the victim appear as if she was the conductor. In the end, the auction ended without anyone noticing anything. Miss Jensen, your crimes have become clear. If you know anything else, please hold nothing back. I want to help you more, but that is all I know. If I had to say, there was just one thing that bothers me. When I took Miss Crane's place, I borrowed her clothes. There was no way for me to borrow her hair. Ouch! What kind of coroner's assistant goes around stealing a corpse's hair? I would think that robbing the deceased of their clothes would be questionable enough. Both the colour and the length of her hair is different, so I was worried about how to disguise it. However, the conductor even had a wig prepared for me. In fact, he had two of them. Inside the costume trunk, there was both a straight wig and a wavy wig. 2 wigs. Why were there 2? Who knows? Maybe it was a precaution in case the victim had changed her hairstyle. I ended up using the straight wig to match Miss Crane's hair. So that means the wavy wig was left unused. Karen's testimony jotted down my organiser. Is that really all you know? Yep, that's really all I know. So that means you don't know who the conductor is. I'm sorry, I only knew that person as the auction conductor. Never saw that person without a mask on. The conductor seemed to be on guard towards everybody. At this rate. Edgeworth, is that all you've got? Even if that little nurse is an accomplice, it changes absolutely nothing, you know? In the end, the true culprit is still Kay Faraday. All you did was add another criminal, you know? The rule of law cannot be overturned. At least, not for your sake. Is this as far as I go? I am unable to save Kay. Am I unable to save Kay? Hey, Francisca! Francisca, why are you here? Didn't I tell you, Miles Edgeworth? Wherever there is a case, I will follow. Prosecutor von Karma, your hard work is most appreciated. However, don't get the wrong idea. I only came here to find out the truth behind what happened to Kay Faraday. And I don't plan on forgiving you for abandoning the prosecutor's path. It's the name of the game! I understand. You should thank your former subordinate. He gave me some valuable information which may save Kay Faraday. There. What happened to me? That's true. Detective Gumshoe did? Listen well, Miles Edgeworth. This will be the final piece of evidence. Jill Crane suffered the wound on her head first. Well, someone say something. Well, I hate to say it, but we already proved that. Already proved? Yes, well, just a few minutes ago. You should have told me sooner. You're the one who barged in here and started talking. Well then, does that mean you've found out what the murder weapon was already? No, not yet. Is that so? In that case, listen well. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt cylindrical object. The wound on her chest was suffered post-mortem. A cylindrical murder weapon.
Objection.
You know, this report of yours, I trust it's accurate, of course. These were the results of 2 independent autopsies, carried out by 2 respected doctors.
Objection.
That's reassuring, but it's too bad. You have no right to investigate this case. Interpol is after the black market auctions, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of the investigation. The victim participated in the auction. Therefore, it is only natural for me to investigate. Especially now that she's been murdered. I see. Clever girl, little Von Karma. Then it has been settled. The victim died from blunt force trauma to the head. Autopsy report updated in my organiser. Unfortunately, the murder weapon has yet to be found. Just knowing the shape of the murder weapon gives me an idea as to what it might be. Hey, in my investigation we didn't find any other murder weapons, you know. If you consider the conductor's possessions and the crime scene, the answer should be clear. A blunt cylindrical object used in the auction hall was Judge Courtney's gavel, an auction gavel, a judge's gavel. Say Judge Courtney's gavel, that'd be great. But no, it was an auction gavel. It was something the conductor had in their hand during the auction. Namely, an auction gavel. An auction gavel? We didn't find anything like that. If the culprit is the conductor, it is possible that the gavel may be the murder weapon. However, that alone is not reason enough, wouldn't you agree? Of course, I have proof to back it up. This piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is an auction gavel. Where is it? Is it this one? That's Carrie's testimony. Oh, bugger, where is it? Oh, there it is. Lotta's testimony. Oh, finally that's the last thing we have to select for this episode. According to Miss Hart's testimony after the victim had been murdered, it seems she suddenly stopped hearing the sound of the gavel during the auction. However, she had been able to hear it up until then. Why was that, you ask? It was because it had been used as the murder weapon, and was covered in the victim's blood. It became necessary to dispose of it, isn't that right? Blaze the best. I'll have a search for the murder weapon performed immediately. Well, good luck with that, you know. You've got to work as hard as you can while you're young, you see. He's completely confident that we won't find it. Well then, while the search for the murder weapon continues, I hereby call for a brief recess. Oh god, just immediately like that. To be continued. Wow. Over an hour and a half. Oh my god. Oh, and that's not even going to be the longest episode of this case. There's one part in the next case, one part of it includes 2 logic chess segments, and they're long. And then testimony in between them, I think, maybe investigation. That's going to be like, I don't know, that could be like 3 hours long, depending on how long I take to complete it. Oh my god. But anyway, we're slowly getting there with proving Kay not guilty. She remembered about the bull thing, it was a recorded the voice, there was a switcheroo, Karen was an accomplice. We're slowly getting closer to apparently proving Blaze the Best was the conductor. But I'm really not liking the fact that all of a sudden Judge Courtney's working with us, and you know, she must have somehow figured it all out herself and she's just helping us prove it, because I hate that. I want to rub it so hard in her stupid face for siding with the conductor. There, with Blaze the Best. Anyway, next time will be the finale of the Forgotten Turnabout. Hopefully it won't take over an hour and a half to do, because oh my god, that was long. I started recording at what? It's been 10:30? Now it's 12. Oh god, so long. And I'm hungry. Right, I'm going to end off there. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.